That's why I started. So going to a fourth company and being perceived as an asshole who tries to reorganize things, bring changes, not shake up what works, but move it to another direction, do all this change management, do everything. So 2-3 years later, just to be failing or fired or not being able to do the job or hating my job, I couldn't afford.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had a toll in my kids. I read something that you're wealthy when you can take a 3 p.m. break to go pick up your kid from school.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is what wealth should look like in moving on. And don't take me wrong, I did well professionally. I invested, made some money as well there. So it's not that I'm starting how I started, with zero balance. I have created the luxury for myself to have some stability.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have the luxury to be more selective, and going to another great company would be amazing, but I wouldn't be able emotionally to support it. And then I also ask myself, why? Like the 15 and 25-year-old George is already very proud of George today. I reached a level that, to be honest, I never thought I would. So in that sense, suffering and not enjoying life, what's the point then? Why did I do all these things? Why did I spend all these years building all that stuff if I'm miserable today? I was way happier when, I was driving my Twingo with my girlfriend, now wife, going to, low cost areas, not even going through the tolls to avoid like €4 to pay the toll in Larissa to go to Volos. But we had so much good time, not because I didn't have the €4, but I wanted to save money, to make calculated risk or stupid risks, but build something. So I did all this stuff. It paid off. I'm proud, and then I'm miserable, semi-depressed, shouting to my kids, disconnected with my wife, toxic at the end in my work environment. And then you take a minute to reflect, which was months, not a minute, and be like, you know what? Fuck that shit. Excuse my friends, but fuck it. Doesn't worth it. Because I want to be productive as long as I can. I want to be able to be meaningful, to create value. I was heading to a dead end, or I was already at that dead end.
Were you
to
talking
design
to
my
someone?
life.
Were you talking with? Were you talking to your wife? I would like to understand how did she help you.
We talked a lot. She's great. She has always been backing me up. She made different career choices so I can have the luxury, not because of me, because what she thought also is better for her at the time. But then we found a good balance where I would be the one able to be away for a few weeks, visiting our office abroad, or staying up late to work, or when I had my own startup, supporting me emotionally and stuff like that. So we had this communication, and she was the one being like, you know what, fuck it, quit. I cannot see you anymore like that, quit. And eventually, as I said, I was very close on quitting, and then I realized some financial stuff that if I quit, I would miss. And then ego came in and said, like, you know what, I'm not going to do him a favor because clearly he was trying to make me quit. So fuck that shit, you need to fire me. And then trigger all that financial clauses that come with firing, plus to stand out and tell people who are pretty intelligent and recognize my value that he made a decision to fire me.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was never expressed like that. The company doesn't have a CRO now. So my role was discontinued. Anyway, we were talking a lot about it, and she was supportive. She wasn't supportive at all when I had these anger issues where talking to my kids, shouting at them. And don't take me wrong, having 2 kids is a challenge by itself, especially if I hadn't gone to a movie or to a restaurant for months. And we did buy the support network. We have some really good people helping us, but that's something that's not flexible, or it stresses you a lot. Or my wife had to take, a day off because the lady who was there on call when our kids were sick was also sick because our kids, got here sick and stuff like that. So all these little things are a lot to take. A lot of relationships and marriages go through a difficult period just for that. Imagine also being unstable at work and in a position where you're like soul searching what you're going to do in your life. Having your midlife crisis and buying a sports car won't even solving it. So I didn't buy it. I looked at them, but I didn't feel it will give me the satisfaction. I was browsing. I was browsing for a summer house. I was trying to find a way to, but in reality, it just isolated me. It kept me distant. And I was home. I was looking at my phone. I was doing things that I'm not proud of. Not that it's anything extreme, but from how I think a parent should be nowadays, I wasn't that parent. I'm still not, by the way, but it's different being a good enough parent, which I think I can be, versus shouting at moments where you shouldn't, or not having the stamina to take them out for a while and just build memories together. So I was talking to my wife, I was talking, to other friends who have kids, I was talking to colleagues. They understood my environment and they had similar challenges. And all that led to the conclusion of, you know what? It's not the company, it's not that person, it's me. I need to do something. I need to have, again, control of my life, which I thought always I need to do. And then now I'm challenging that too. Like I just finished my second season for the summer, of psychotherapy. And I think one of the things I learned this year is that there's some things I cannot have control over, and that's totally fine. So let go of things, or not let them influence. And these are really good things that I learned through challenges at work and not at in personal life, because I think personal is even more complicated. Professional has an etiquette, has some rules. So learning about, emotions and how, what the core emotion versus the surface emotion and all that stuff were really good.